just another video on defensive structure. So this one we're going to talk about more when the ball's in our kind of defensive circle, how we're going to structure up there. So just to start off with again, this is kind of like our press. So we've got our 3 forwards up the front, and then everyone else manned up. So the insides manned up, centre half manned up, left half, right half, 1 fullback, and then the high fullback playing that sweeper role in the middle, trying to get the intercept. The high full is always stays on that ball goal line. So it's over that side, he's on that line. Say if the ball's way over here, that line is now that way, so that sweeper would stay on that line all the time if he can. And then if someone gets eliminated, the sweeper can step up straight away and slow that play down, and then whoever got eliminated can just duck in behind, and then you'll let sweeper spot while he's taking the man. So that's still the same. So with the when they've got the ball in their attack and we're defending, we want everyone on a player except for our sweeper still. He tries to stay free. He'll look for that intercept pass. So everyone else has a man. One player has to nominate or go to the ball, so they're 5 yards from that ball, and if they play on, he can go to them straight away. So the sweeper is still free, looking for that intercept, or if someone gets eliminated, a step up. Still on that goal line, so he's still on that line between the ball and the goal, no matter where it's over there. Same thing, so there's the line. Our sweeper will be always try and stay on that line. Yeah, so sweeper's in behind. If that player gets eliminated, he steps up. So with our strikers who are up here, they still are defensive players while they've got the ball. So we don't want them just holding back in a space and letting these guys run up and get easy passes, and because that will allow them to draw a player and get a player free. So then we lose our spare. So we don't want to lose our spare. We always want to keep that spare on. So as their players come down for the overlap, our forwards have to stay with them. So if one goes down, that's alright, we just have 2 high. Another one goes down, they have to stay on that player to keep this guy spare. So he can come and intercept or put pressure on the ball carrier, so everyone still has a man, and this guy can still come in behind and slot back in as a spare again. Yeah, so no matter what happens, we always want this spare. So no overlaps, stay on your player, and then if we get the ball, then we spread off there. So as soon as we get the ball, our forwards especially have to spread really hard, and everyone else behind them spreads as well, back out into the space, and then we're on the counter attack. So just make sure that the main point is to keep that spare all the time, no matter what happens in the game, and that really comes down to our 3 forwards making sure they don't allow one of those backs to come up and get an easy ball, and so that spare stays spare. And then on the counter attack, once we get the ball, everyone spreads. When we spread off back the other way down the field, we still always want 3 to start behind the ball. So yeah, so just when the ball turns over and we're going into attack, so we're going up the field that way, it's just important that we always have 3 behind the ball to cover to start with. So it could be a right half, 1 fullback, and the other left half, or it could be the left half and 2 fullbacks, and the right half could be pushing up to attack. Doesn't really matter, as long as we've got out of our defense, we've still got 3 behind the ball covering. So it'll usually be like a left half and 2 fullbacks, or it might be the right half and the 2 fullbacks. So, and which half it is just depends on how the game's going, what's just happened in the game. and where the ball is. So if the ball's been turned over on the right hand side and we're going into attack, because this ball's just been turned over on this side, it will be the right half that's pushing up and the left half will stay back to start with. And the same thing if the ball's turned over on the left half, the left side of the field, it'll more likely be that the left half is pushing up with that turnover and the right half will be staying back to just help cover. And then as say if the ball's been turned over on the right side, that left half will then push up for the overlap. So if the ball's on the right side, the right half will be pushing up with that play and the left half will be back to defend, but the left half will still look for that overlap pass. And then once that pass comes out, then we've got to reorganize and just shuffle. If that striker doesn't go up with him, then we just shuffle around and just make sure we've still got free covering. So if it, say that's at the moment we might have the right half, a fullback, and a left half, and maybe that's the high fullback, or that might be the right half, and it could be the two fullbacks here, and that could be the left half. Doesn't really matter as long as there's three. So if we're looking to transfer the ball across, say that left half comes up, then we've got to just shuffle around, reorganize, make sure that these three strikers are still covered. So either one of these players, because the ball's just come from that side of the ground, we're not looking to go back this way. We don't really want that ball to go back. We want to go across and then keep going that way. So then one of these two have just got to shuffle back in to that line, or even if they don't go all the way back, right back, just a little bit, just to be defensive, have a defensive mindset, or that player's going this direction. So we've turned the ball over, we've got three covering, left half, or it could even be a fullback or whatever, pushes up the overlap, a half or a fullback works out who's covering, one just slots back in, and then the play just continues. And same from the other side, say the ball's on that side, we've got our two back, that person should be back here to start with, they come up, and then the ball goes across, and then because we've already gone from left to right, we don't want to really come back inside straight away, we want to keep going. So if we've switched the ball, we want to keep going that side, we don't want to come back inside. So and then they shuffle back. So yeah, it doesn't matter who the three are, it could be the two fullbacks and a halfback, or it could be both halfbacks and a fullback, but the centre half is always up the field, so it's either the left half and the two fullbacks, or the right half and the two fullbacks, or one fullback and the two halves, if that makes sense. So and it just depends on where the players. If the player's on the right side of the field, the right half is going to be pushing up to attack. If the ball's turned over on the left side of the field, it's going to be the left side pushing up to attack and the right half kind of staying back. But in general, we want our left half more defensive having a more defensive mindset from the start. So always check when there's a turnover and everyone's going. Just be mindful if you're a halfback what their strikers are doing behind the ball, because we just don't want this situation where we've only got two covering, because then if there's a turnover, it makes it very hard for these defenders to try and cover those three players. Alright, hopefully it makes sense. So, and then also on top of that, if they have four players, we're just going to leave them have that, and we're just going to try and get a goal, attack the ball, and leave our three backs to cover the four players, and they've just got to cover the most dangerous players. So if there's only two strikers, say if there's only two strikers to worry about, then obviously we can push up to even up the numbers. But if they have four behind the ball for some reason, we're just going to leave that their fourth player there and do our best with our 3 backs just to kind of try and cover and slow that play down, and also try and take that opportunity to get a goal. Hopefully that makes sense to people. So just to go over again, always start with 3 behind the ball. Once it switches, and then just shuffle back in just to make sure we're covered. That's all the idea is. So hopefully that makes sense.